Yo, what up? It's your man V. We back. Fading for life. I'm the author of the Barber Blueprint. We got another tutorial, bringing it to you live and direct. This time I cleaned up the angles. So what I'm doing today is an all even cut. Now a lot of barbers do a lot of all even cuts, but what I see is that you just do it all even. You just go with the grain or go against the grain and that's it. Well, throughout my years and my journey throughout the barber game, I learned a few tips and tricks. So for those that have the patience and really want to learn, got a fire tutorial. I'm gonna do the beard, I'm gonna do the full wave cut, all even joint, and show you my tips and tricks. Tips and tricks with the razor edge. Let's get right into it. First thing you want to do is comb out the hair. Make sure you comb every section with the grain so that the waves are spinning in the right direction before you start to cut. I'm assuming that the hair is clean when you do this. Richie Rich hair was super clean, so he was ready to go. Richie Rich is a good guy too, man. It's an early morning, Saturday morning, so those are the good vibes, man. Most barbers in the morning, could be a coin flip, man. Some people come in bad mood, hungover. That was me once upon a time. Typically on Saturday mornings, I'm in a great mood, coffee. Starting off with my one purple guard on my cordless fast feeds. Go with the grain, with the grain, with the grain. When I first started barbering, that swirl section used to have me mad intimidated. All you gotta do is comb the hair in the right direction and just make sure you hit it in the same direction where it goes. It just flows all the way through. Don't just hit it patchy, just straight from where that swirl starts all the way to the end. With the grain, with the grain, with the grain. It's alright to talk to your clients while you cut their hair too, man. Show some interest in what they have going on. Ask questions, how's the family? How's work going? Even recall some of the conversations that you had before about maybe some trips. Whatever's going on, whatever's happening. That's how you build your clientele. There's a lot of barbers out here that can cut and probably give some pretty good and decent cuts, but do they have good personality? Do they have good experience? Does the client actually like going to that person? You want to be an enjoyable, upbeat person when people are getting cut by you. And I'm not even going to sit here and lie and make it seem like I'm always in a great 100% mood every day. But when I show up for the clients, I make sure I'm mentally aware while I'm cutting the hair. I'm so far past learning the ability to cut the hair that I can actually have a conversation with someone while I'm doing their haircut. But as you can see right here, I'm smoothing it down with the one. This isn't the final destination for this haircut, but just smoothing the hair down, getting a good feel of where it is. Now one thing with Rich is that you see those bottom two patches where the taper may be. I'm going to show you some tricks to fix that. That swirl is good to go. All I gotta do is go around. I would say go around twice with the grain, smoothing those waves down. And I always use the term work your way down the mountain, because you don't want to start too low, because if you start too low, then there's nowhere else you can go. But if you just cut a little bit off, maybe show them the mirror, then you can work your way down. Make sure everything is evened out. We want these waves to spin. We want it to be laid down flat. We don't want any hair sticking up. You don't want your all even cut looking choppy or lopsided or any of the above. You want everything smooth and blended if needed. So I go with my 2 guard against the grain on those light spots I was just telling you about. Smoothing the hair down in a way where, if I didn't catch any hairs with the grain, then I can catch them against the grain, and I use a bigger guard so that it doesn't cut too much hair off. And I go around the top of the beard, and then, those corners and around the ear to smooth that out too. Like an all even essentially isn't really all even. You'll have people get in your chair and say, yo, I want it all even, don't taper the sides. But this isn't necessarily a light taper, but just evening it out, because some spots may be thinner than others, and you don't want that to show. So a tight blend just to make those light areas not so noticeable. So I'll go with I broke it down to my 1 guard right here, and I just open up the lever a little bit. See how it's just evening that out? See how it's just smoothing it out? Now you don't even notice that he had those 2 light spots in the back. Richie is probably gonna watch this like, yo, man, you breaking down my hair, but you know, this is a teachable moment, and he agreed to be on cam, so it's all good. I also want to give a shout out to my man Biggs, the barber, who inspired me to do this. You know, they've been challenging me in the barber shop a lot since I only cut 3 days a week, and I can go in there and smoke some services, but then it's like, you know, like, I want to have that competitive element, you know, in my cuts, and my cuts are solid, but you know, doing these tutorials is the challenge for me, because it's not something I do every time I do a haircut. And I'm gonna take every opportunity I can to do these tutorials now that I stepped up my editing game, and also because like I'm gonna be coming out to see you with the Barber Blueprint. So I'll be promoting this book. I got a lot of game in the book, and the book doesn't necessarily like teach you how to cut, but it's more so like how to build your clientele, how to provide a good experience, and also how to manage your finances and market yourself so that you can attract clientele. That's mostly what my book is about, because like, you know, I can't really teach you how to cut via text, but you know, you get the free game on these videos. You know, I'll share my jewels, but the book is really where the real sauce is, and it's coming to a bookstore or a mailbox near you, and I'm coming to hit as many shops as I possibly can across the country, just to spread the word, spread this message. You know, because there's a lot of barbers out there, but are they as proactive as you? Are they going to do the due diligence of studying and learning sales and learning marketing and learning, like, you know, ways to set themselves up for retirement, or set themselves up in case they want to take a trip? You know, I wouldn't be able to take time off to write this book if I weren't proactive with my finances and building a following. Now, what I'm doing right here is opening my guard with opening my blade, just to take down those edges. Any video I do, I'm probably going to show you this. I'm going to open my guard and smooth out the line so that you don't have just hair sticking out. It makes it so much easier to line people up when the hair is laid down. Sometimes you got to just smooth them down in order to do that. I go around the back as well, smoothing it out around that line. You know, usually me and Rich have a great conversation, but I was a little worried about catching these angles. Pause. So conversation may have lacked a little bit. So I came back around with my smallest guard, just to smooth it out a little bit more and take it down a little bit lower. Not too much lower, but just to, you know, take those waves down and make sure they spinning, man. I like my haircuts like this to just look like airbrushed, man. Like, I know that's like a buzzword, but you'll see what I'm talking about once it's all done. Like, you want your cut to look smooth. You want the lines clean and your takedown smooth, like with a all even cut. You don't want any streaks in there. You don't want any hair sticking up. You want it smooth. And for my barbers that come from other cultures that you know, are cutting the melanated people, these are some tips that you can take home with you. I hope that, leave a comment if these tips and tricks are helping you out, because you know, they'll tell you in school or whoever to just go with the grain, and it's just a little bit more to it than that. You know, you want to look at the hair, look at the direction it's growing in, and just because the waves are going one way, you know, doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, you should cut the hair in that direction. Some people brush their waves in a different direction than their hair grows, so be mindful of that as well. I used to hit that little swirl section the wrong way and then end up having to reset my whole haircut. So just be mindful of, you know, what direction you're going in. Luckily for me, I've been doing Richie for a while, a few different hairstyles, so I know which way his hair grows. The music that you're listening to in the background is from my upcoming album, ABV. Always Been Valid, man. I'm super excited about this. Like, this will be like a breath of fresh air from the music that I was making before. So my last album, Intelligent Hoodlum, was very introspective, very personal, and that doesn't always play well in a barbershop setting. Like, although I've been displaying lyricism, I wanted to make something a little more fun and upbeat. So I hope by the time you view this video that it'll be out and you can check it out and listen to it. My beat selection, I made it a little bit more palatable for the ride too, so that I could bang that joint when I'm on my way to see y'all with the Barber Blueprint book coming soon. Hopefully you're watching this and got a copy. There's some barbers in the game, some influencers that'll tell you that you should only focus on barbering, and I do not disagree with that. Depending on where you are in your life cycle as a barber, if you're in the beginning, the first few stages where you're seeking some inspiration and education, yes, focus 100% on barbering. But once you have a following and a schedule, and you're getting some appointments and you're making a good living, it's all right to focus on other areas of creativity and other things. Family is important. You want to have health, wealth, love, and happiness. So self-care first, making sure you're healthy and able to get up and do the cuts, and then you create the wealth by being at the barbershop, spending time there, coming early, leaving late, and servicing the people. Right here I'm using my Gold FX Pros for the line. I'm only going to line around the back and the bottom of the beard, bottom of the mustache, and for the rest of the line I'm going to use my razor. But like I was saying, man, health, wealth, love, and happiness. You start with the health, making sure you're able to get up and do the cuts, staying hydrated during the day, throughout the day, take a lunch break, eat, and then you get to the wealth by servicing the people, being available, and then the love, man. You find that, with your friends and your family, and then that creates the happiness, man. Once everything, so let's score these areas from 1 to 7. You got health, you got wealth, love, and happiness. Each area should score above a 4 or 5. If any of these areas are below a 3, then you got to put them in the proper order that works for you. Some people may be in survival mode and may need to seek the wealth first. Trust me, I've been there. But if you seek the happiness first, that could lead to pop this pill, smoke this blunt, drink this liquor, hit that club, and then, you losing your people, man. You're not even really present, as a barber, giving people the cuts that they want. You don't want to only just be, there trying to like cut your way out of a tight situation, man. You want to be comfortable as a barber. There are clients that I'm pretty sure are using and, about that life. But, for a long, sustainable career, you want people that are into things that are wholesome and healthy. So, needless to say, I had to make that decision along the way as a barber too. Being able to position myself as a person that can choose who I want to cut. And I'm unapologetic about that. We don't want to be serving people for short money. We don't want to be serving people who don't really value our service. And we don't want to be like being there if we really don't want to be there. I guess that comes with choosing a good shop too. So with starting fading, for one of the things that I wanted to make sure I had was a solid value proposition. You see our chairs, good and new. You see our neighborhood, we ain't worried about anything bad that could possibly happen. Chances of it happening are slim. And then the people that are in the shop, we get along, we support one another. You know, we take pictures for one another. We do videos for one another. Anybody ever asks me any questions, I'm an open book with advice. Anything that you read in this book, 9 times out of 10, you know, the barbers within the shop got that from me times 50. So, you know, when you choose a shop, if you're already in a shop, you know, make sure that it's the environment for you. If you're searching for a shop, same. Make sure it's the environment for you. I'm going around the mustache with my FX Pros. I had these for quite some time. I haven't switched the blade. If you go back on this channel, you'll see that I reviewed these fresh out the box. I have never ever switched the blade. I've been still using the same blade. This is the strongest trimmer. So I know a lot of barbers are probably using other trimmers and things like that. I swore by the T-out liners, but man, this is it. And I only have 1 pair. I come up in an era where I had to have 2 pairs of everything. I only got 1 clipper for everything now, man. It's funny how times have changed. So there has been some innovation. Clippers have stepped up. You know, they're not burning my hands anymore. They're cordless. I smoothed down that area again. Now I'm gonna apply the shaving cream, shaving soap, the warm foam. Not too much, you know, because it becomes a hassle to wipe off if you do too much. And the heat softens the hair. Makes the area easy to glide with the razor. I do have some clients that I do without the foam, and it all depends on, you know, this is gonna sound crazy, you know, some people have oily skin, I can do it, or it just, you know, it just depends on the skin or what, you know, how they are, you know. Some people could take a dry razor, some people can't, but for this, you know, foam, use the foam here. Wipe that off. Simple and plain, super easy. Tug it out like that. Leave a comment, man. Let me know if you do your lines like this. Do you do razor only on certain areas, or are you a trimmer guy, or do you do the trimmers and then the razor? Me, I choose this way because it just saves time, man. It saves me time, man. For some people, it doesn't always get a sharp line. You know, if I'm in a rush, you know, some areas, sometimes I do the whole line with the trimmers. Or it depends. It depends on the client too. You know, some people appreciate this more than others. Some people don't want the razor at all, so then they sacrifice a little bit of sharpness. Let me know, what is your preferred way of lining your clients up? I use Dorco Primes as my razor. Any razor works. And stretch the skin back and go with the grain to get that line in there. And I usually start with the front line first. That just works easier for me. The barber that I learned from long time ago taught me to start from the middle of the front line, begin my lineup. Typically I start that way. Sometimes I'll start the corner first. I mean, it really depends on the line, actually. You know, for this situation, this was easy for me to start right there. And I'm gonna take that little peek out, don't worry. Got it. I like to keep my lines as natural as possible, man. I see y'all drawing with chalk and glue and some of y'all be making these people look crazy, man. I don't be doing none of that, the pencils and all that, man. I will do a little bit of spray enhancement if it's needed, but for the most part, call me NV, Natural V. I'm coming with the natural cuts, man. And in Buffalo, that's how I made my name in my community, like that. Natural cuts, man. 20 plus years of Saturdays. Starting from the porch in the basement first, all the way up to the shop, man. Natural. All this new stuff with the sprays and chalk, I mean, I'm not shaming y'all if it's a good product, but the cut gotta be good. Enhancements are meant to enhance. You know, don't be just drawing on a haircut, man. This is not paint and makeup. This is barber game, man. C cut with the grain, again with the beard down. I usually don't do my razors on people's faces against the grain if needed, but you know, in this case I just want to make a clean line. When I do my razor edge ups on the beard, I like to start with my line first. I don't like to scrape the whole cheek down to the line. I like to get my line in there first and then go over the rest of the stubble after I have a line there. See, now you see it's solid line. Now all I gotta do is just boop, take the rest of that hair off, clean it up a little bit, and Richie is good to go. And we're still talking, you know, still going with the flow of the experience. Don't you love when you go to a restaurant and, like, you know, the waiter gives you some suggestions, suggest your wine, come talk to you, ask you if you're all right. You know, the barber game is the same way, man. Talk to your people. Talk to your people. Or keep them talking. So, you know, ask the right question. Conversation can flow just with active listening. Listening to what they say and respond. And if somebody doesn't really want to talk, cool. You don't got to force them to talk, but they're making the decision not to talk. You know, but if somebody clearly wants to talk, you know, listen. Listen to them. You know, so many times I've seen, like, you know, a haircut going on where, you know, somebody is talking about something that's, you know, interesting to them, but because the barber shows no interest, the conversation just dies. And you know, I hate to see that happen. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and make it seem like, you know, I'm interested in every single thing that people talk about, but it can be a teachable moment for me. So that's why I'll ask questions. You want to learn more about the people that are paying you. These people pay your bills, man. Or sis. Barbershop. Conversation is meant to be had there. It shouldn't be funeral home, you know. Good tunes, maybe a movie, good conversation. People come to you to feel confident and good, man. And I know some days it might suck because you're in a bad mood and you got whatever you got going on, but you got to leave that at the door when you walk in. Once you pick those clippers up, you are a servant of the people. So serve them. Now I'm just cleaning up with my pros, getting the extra little hairs and things like that. And this is pretty much a wrap. Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll get a quick close-up of the cut before I let you go. All right, it's the moment of truth. Passing them that clean mirror. Make sure your mirror clean too. Now see, Richie was trying to look super cool because he knew he was on video, but he knew he wanted to crack that smile. Now you see the line, the crispy line. We didn't do any enhancements. We didn't do any chalk. We didn't Beijing, no beards or nothing like that. All even. The light spots around his corners blended. Even the back blended. A light blend. It's not a taper. This is the Barber Blueprint. I'm not your normal internet guru. I'm a guy that's really in the trenches, really been through it, and I look forward to you getting some value from my story and from my journey as a barber in this game. I'm not standing here the guy that's promising you that you're gonna be a millionaire, but what I am promising you is that you'll be a better barber if you apply the jewels in this book, the Barber Blueprint.